When you wish
The song.
upon a star.
Here he goes again, Rob.
Makes no
Everywhere we went.
Everywhere we go. He's got a song,
Disney
a movie
World.
quote. Do you love to travel?
Do you love finding hidden treasures in towns all over the USA? Hi, I'm Joshua.
And I'm Craig, and welcome to Treasures of Our Town, the podcast that explores the unique and charming towns scattered throughout the United States.
Join us as we venture into some of the country's most intriguing destinations, uncovering hidden gems and local secrets along the way.
On today's episode, we go back in time and discuss all that was in the land of Mikey.
Mikey?
Mikey? You mean Mickey, Josh? Mickey. I read it totally wrong, didn't I?
I wrote it down wrong.
It's okay, mate. How have you been, mate? We're technically in person now, but we're in separate rooms still, thanks to technology.
I know exactly how I've been, and I know how you've been because we've spent the last 48 hours together.
I know. Lucky you, mate. Lucky you. So do you want to explain where we are, what we're doing, and we'll go from there?
We're in the state of Florida.
Oh, yes.
Welcome to my house. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Wait, is that Florida?
We're not going to get... Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Did you know one thing, Josh? I didn't know Flowrider meant Florida. There you go. Until I'm talking maybe 12 months ago. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was oblivious. I thought Flowrider and had no idea about Florida and Flowrider being spelt the same way. So there you go.
Funny.
I know, mate. I know.
Well, and here's the thing that's exciting. We are currently in an Airbnb in Florida.
Yeah, we are.
Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
And we have just experienced a great weekend that is not quite over.
No, we still got one more half day to go.
Yes, but it's going to be over soon. And we experienced some things. And you might be thinking from the top end here, wait a minute, Josh, Craig, this podcast is all about finding hidden gems throughout the United States in small towns. And we're in Orlando. Could there be any more known place in the world?
Well, it doesn't have to be small, as we've said on other previous podcasts. It is, but we'll say this: we love giving out the information to people, and a decent quality of giving back to people, and that's what we do in this podcast today. Today's podcast itself, there's the information that we give back to people, Josh, that they can maybe go and see Mickey and Minnie Mouse for free.
This is true.
So
for free.
Yeah,
see Mickey Mouse for free.
I said almost. If you got binoculars.
It's true.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. But
and
we're not here alone.
Yes, we're going to say we're not alone.
We're sat together. We're not alone, mate.
We're not alone.
We've got a good friend of ours, a good friend of the podcast as well. Who have we got, Josh?
We have Rob Vardman from munzee. He is the president of munzee, and we're going to bring him in right now. Rob, how you doing in your room over on the other side of the house?
All the way 100 feet away. That's right. Coming to you from my room.
Yeah.
And I am doing well. Thank you very much for both having me on.
Thank you for being here, mate. And we appreciate everything you do. But we will say this. Yes, you might hear that we are in 3 different rooms because we want to keep it, Josh. We want to keep this quality of podcast the way it is without all the echoes of all us being in the same room with our voices. So that's the reason why.
Yes.
But why, Josh, are we in Orlando, Florida at the moment? And we have the president of munzee himself, Rod Vardaman, with us. Why?
Well, because there is a munzee mega event happening this weekend in Orlando. Yeah. And the first question is, what the heck is munzee? Some of you might be listening. You're like, I don't know what munzee is, or you're maybe unfamiliar with munzee, or you haven't heard about it much lately. I don't know. You could be any of the above, but munzee is another location-based game. And you know what? Who better person to explain to us the joys, the wonders, the fun of munzee than having the president with us. So that is why we're in Orlando this weekend. We've been having a great time playing munzee and hanging out with lots of munzee players. So Rob, the president of munzee, you've been the president for a long time. Give us give us, what is your description? I know my description. You could steal it if you want to, but
I think that I'm going to use your description of munzee out and about, probably more often than I use my own, because that description of geocaching and Pokemon Go having a baby, and that is munzee. It's perfect. It fits really well. But yes, to anyone out there listening, that if you're familiar with geocaching, then munzee comes along in sort of a complementary way, I would say, because there's some stuff that is similar in munzee, and then some differences because, for example, in munzee, it's all based on QR codes, and so we are an app based game. Based on QR codes, and there are millions of them scattered all around the world that are deployed by players. So it's a similar type of thing to geocaching, where the caches are owned by players and put out, maintained, that kind of stuff. So you have those. You have virtual pieces as well. So that's where it comes in, like Pokemon Go, because with Pokemon Go, there's not anything actually at that location when you go. So
what?
You look like a crazy person tapping on your phone. Yeah.
I thought I was slaying dragons. What?
No, not real.
Not real.
Hence the reason, Josh, you don't actually get a workout when you go to a Pokemon gym. Just saying, that's the reason why, because it's not actually real, mate. It's not real.
That's true. That's true. No matter how hard you tap on your phone, you're actually not burning that many calories.
No.
So that's what we've got. We've got the virtual game pieces in munzee as well. And then, we've got our own IP that's built in. So we are not Pokemon, obviously. So we are not known, to millions and millions and millions of people. But we have our own types of animals and bouncers and things like that. So our game is more about points. It's more about leaderboards. It's a lot about community, and it's competition, I suppose, as much as anything else. Which you guys have engaged in quite a bit of competition over the weekend.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, and we've watched a lot of competition take place. So so that's kind of what I would say is the quick elevator pitch for what munzee is.
Yeah.
And this is not a show all about munzee. Of course, we could have several shows about munzee. And if you want to hear and learn more about munzee, there's actually an official munzee podcast hosted by
the two of us, Rob and myself.
The two of us.
Which is the podcast where Seemyshell, Craig, is committing podcast infidelity with this podcast.
Rob, he hasn't let that go, mate. He hasn't let that go.
But because I know about it, it seems to be like an open relationship. So we're fine.
That's more like it. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. I think that it's good that we all share. And it's also really nice that here on the screen, while we're looking at each other, on my screen at least, Seemyshell is in the middle there. So we are sharing him.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I should have an upside down pineapple in my room or something. But anyway, we're going to move on. There we go. I said it. If you want to know more about munzee as well, and you are brand new, I do have a beginners series on my YouTube channel, Josh, as well. So yeah, that's out there on my YouTube channel, beginner series on munzee, just to get you involved and started. So, but our as you said, Josh, our trip isn't just about munzee. I got here early on Thursday morning, so that was 2 days ago now. And I get in early Thursday morning, and then I spent some time in the airport, Josh, before Rob arrived later on in the afternoon. So, So guess what I did in the airport, Josh? And this is another thing, again, Josh, these little gems and techniques that people can use. If you're bored in an airport, people, you don't have to just sit there and drink $10 beers at the – you can do what I did, and that is I did laps, Josh. Laps and laps of Orlando Airport, capturing munzees and getting all these points before you even came into town. So, that's what I did. So I did laps of the airport, capping munzees, doing some exercise. I had my heavy backpack on as well because you can't leave anything in the airport. And but I didn't just drink some. I mean, I did drink a couple of brews, Josh, I'll be honest, but that's what I did. So, but then you come in, Josh.
Yes.
You come in at almost midnight.
Almost midnight. I had a full day of work. I had to get up early, have a full day of work, and then I got on a plane. And let me just say, we don't
Mhm.
talk about the weather here on this podcast, but let me just say, I escaped Minnesota because as we speak right now, and this is all the weather I'm going to talk about, it is currently below 0 Fahrenheit right
Wow.
now. And today it was probably a lovely 72. It got a little cooler, just a little cooler,
Yeah.
but I barely got out there because the next day, Friday, if I had left Friday,
Mm.
I might not have gotten here because many, flights were
Planes
canceled because of
canceled.
the bad weather.
Yeah.
So, and let me just say, I've mentioned this on this podcast before,
Mhm.
that this summer, Craig, you've been hounding me. You're
Yeah.
like, Josh, come on. You have a travel podcast for
Yeah.
Pete's sake. And you are not TSA pre-checked approved?
Yes.
So I was listening to your advice and
Mhm.
I got my TSA pre-check in August. Guess what?
What?
It's January.
Yeah.
And this trip was the first time I had the opportunity to use it. First time.
Well, I'm glad you did. How did it go for you, Josh? We're going through TSA
Yeah.
pre-check as opposed to the rest of the cattle class.
Well, at first I thought the curse wasn't broken
Yeah,
because I got to the gate and showed
Yeah.
her my boarding pass.
Yeah.
And she goes, it doesn't look like you're TSA approved. I was
What?
like, what? I'm still cursed.
Oh.
And I didn't realize, here's your tip. If you've never done it before, I didn't know the process. You have to attach it. You have to attach your travel number to like the airline that you're
Yes.
flying with.
Yeah.
So which was a very simple process.
Yeah. Who
Once
did you
I
fly
figured
in with,
that out.
Josh? Who did you fly in with?
Delta.
See that? Yeah, I forgot to tell you that, Josh, because I'll be honest, I'm with United, and so when I got my TSA pre-check, I put it on my United app. So then, whenever I book United and it registers me as being the booking, it actually has the TSA logo on the side of my ticket, mate. So yeah, that's you can blame me for that. I forgot to tell you that part too.
Yes,
Yeah,
you should have warned me because I thought
did.
I was still going to be cursed. But after I got through, Rob, you got to be TSA pre-check approved.
TSA pre-check, global entry,
Everything,
you name it.
all of the above.
If there's a stamp to be received, the amount of traveling that I get to do, I'm going to have it. Yeah, because I don't like spending time in lines. I don't like taking my shoes off at the airport.
No,
no, thank you. Yeah,
no. Taking all your equipment, Rob, too, because you travel with equipment in terms of laptops and other devices. You don't need to take your laptops and devices out of your bags. It all goes in the one. It's Josh, how did you enjoy that, mate? Not actually taking off, your shoes and all that sort of thing. Was it different for you?
I enjoyed it. And I've heard rumors about how wonderful it was, but now to actually experience it, and I was like, I felt like I was doing something wrong because I was like, is this real life? Is this do I live now in a world where everybody's just safe?
Yeah.
And no shoes off, all my electronics. And then I was like worried, paranoid. Oh gosh, they're gonna end up still checking my bag with all my electronics. Everything went through. I was through in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Slick, people. It's worth it. About $80 for every 2 years.
Yes.
It's so
well
worth
it. And Josh, did you realize though, in some cases you can actually claim that $80 or go through an insurance company. So I think AAA or one of those, don't quote me exactly, but check with your insurance company and they can actually do your TSA pre-check for free through your insurance company. So there you go. There's another tip. Oh, Josh, I've got tips coming out of my everything this tonight. So that's pretty good. So Josh, the gods look down upon you because I saw a photo on your Instagram page.
Yes.
You got extra leg room? What?
Well, Craig, when the curse was broken, it was like the floodgates of travel blessings came down upon me, and I had a middle seat, and I just kindly went up to the front desk, and I smiled, and it was friendly. Like I was like, "Hi," I was like, "Hey, is there any chance I can move out of a middle seat?" She's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem," and she gave me. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing because if you watch the news, we're having doors fly off planes. But I got the row behind the main exit row, which has the door. So my leg, I had no seat in front of me.
Nice,
seat, so I had full leg room.
Do you think, Josh, that air steward was a geocacher and recognized you and your luggage and thought, oh, I got him.
Oh,
and did it
no.
that way.
She
That's a
did not
possibility.
recognize me. No. I just was friendly.
Yeah.
Smiled at her,
Yeah.
didn't come up all grumpy. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm happy to announce on this podcast that my travel TSA curse is done, and the
There you go.
floodgates of
And
blessing.
And there you
are
go, people. For the last
happening.
5 minutes, you've heard about Josh and his TSA, so that's pretty cool. But Josh, we picked you up
Yes.
from the airport, and we were waiting for you in a Tesla.
Ooh,
Yeah,
classy.
fancy
Yeah.
Tesla. Here's a tip. Before we move on.
Oh boy.
People, when it comes to rental cars or hire cars, if you're in Australia, if you don't know about Teslas, if you've never driven one before, you don't know how to charge it, don't rent one. Just saying, that's no good.
I'm feeling personally insulted here and assaulted, I suppose. I don't know what you're insinuating.
So, Rob, just explain to us as well if that's the case. Yeah, the Tesla, mate. The Tesla. What's your opinion of the Tesla, and how did it go?
So my normal travels involve my wife and her bike and cycling and needing a big car. So I almost always have a truck, which is fine because I'm from Texas. I drove a truck. I love driving a truck.
Yeah.
We do not have that in England. We do not have that in England. They have them. But so I drive when I'm back. This time, because she's not with me as we've come to these events, I decided I'm going to not get a truck. I'm going to get a Tesla because I've ridden in a Tesla once. As a passenger, I've been in a couple of Ubers, and it was like, these look really cool. I want to drive one. I've never driven one. And I wish that I had, not been rapid res and whatever else I am with budget too. Same as TSA pre-check. Like I'm all the things. I check every box that I can to get as many advantages as possible. And that allows me to go to the rental counter and to walk past all the other people that are standing in line and to go straight to the car. And I don't do anything. I just go, I pass go. I just keep on going. So that means that I then get the keys and I get in the car and I drive out. And sometimes when you do that, you don't actually know everything that you need to know, especially about electric cars. So it's not as simple in a Tesla as just going to a Tesla supercharger and plugging it in and getting some more juice and then getting back on the road. It is not that simple, people. So beware.
Beware. Exactly. I mean, Rob, let's be honest. I mean, I was with you at that time. We're waiting for Josh later on. But yeah, we should have known better when we initially couldn't even get into the car in the first place because there was no door handle on the thing.
We looked so dumb. We looked so dumb the entire time, and I should have thought, like, if I can't even get into the car, this is not going to go well.
Yeah. But we did finally get into the car because you got to push your thumb in and then it pulls out, the handle pulls out and whatever else as well. But then we get in and the thing starts whistling and dinging and banging at us and saying ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. All these sounds come and Rob's looking at me and I'm looking at Rob and it tries to tell, it does try to guide you to a certain degree on the iPad-sized device in the middle of the car as well. Yeah. And all it said was, put the key, which is literally just a credit card, put the key in the center console on this, and you got to tap it on this thing. And so, okay, so the key goes there, but it doesn't actually sit in anywhere. It sits on top. But then once it actually registers and starts the car, which you can't hear it start, you don't even know it's on, then it can move around from there. But still, then we couldn't. It's raining. We didn't even know where the windscreen wipers were. So I'm there with my my flashlight on my phone trying to find where the windscreen wipers are. We finally got those working a little bit. The car's still making these dinging sounds. Anyway, we drove this car around for all afternoon. I did some munzee, and it was good fun. Rob was, he was actually enjoying the drive. I do believe, Rob, is that right? You were enjoying it?
Yeah. I enjoyed driving the car once I could figure out what the buttons did or where the buttons were.
Yeah. It's a very minimalistic type car, isn't it, Rob? It's there's nothing in there. But we drove around. We did a few things here and there. We went to an event, a munzee event as well. So that was Josh, you missed out on that one.
It didn't matter.
Cool.
It didn't matter because I ended up with more points than you that day.
Oh, here he goes. Not on a Thursday, you didn't. But anyway, we go to pick Josh up. Everything's fine. We come back to the Airbnb, check in the Airbnb. Everything's fine. No dramas there. And Josh, we'll stop there. we check into the Airbnb, Josh, and it's the next morning after we get some good sleep, and you see something in the bathroom, your bathroom.
Well,
in the
let's just
Airbnb.
back up a minute
Oh,
because
you
I
wanna back up?
love talking about the Airbnbs. We stay at Airbnbs
Yeah, we
all the
do.
time,
Yeah,
and
we
we've
do.
stayed at some good ones.
Yep.
We've stayed at some great ones, and I
Yep.
don't think we've stayed. Well, we've stayed
Not
at
so
some
good ones.
average ones.
Yeah.
The one in California where we just had dish soap for soap. Anyway,
Yeah.
but we're currently in it right now. 4-bedroom. I'm going to call it a
Yes.
bungalow.
It is. It is.
I don't know what a bungalow is, but I think when I look at this place, I think bungalow.
It feels like one. It feels
What
like
is
one.
the-
It does.
Does anybody know the definition of a bungalow?
No, but obviously someone's going to research it now as we still talk. But this Airbnb, yeah, it is a 4-bedroom, as you said. But Josh, this time last year, when the podcast was actually created, we shared, all three of us actually, were sharing a bubbling hot tub, and there's no bubbling hot tub in this one.
Well, you can't have it all.
I know, right? I know. But it does have a coffee station, a real coffee station as well.
This coffee station,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. It's like Instagrammable coffee station.
Yeah. It's got the fake grass on the wall and
well, it's like leaves.
Leaves,
It's like it's a perfect place to like take your it's like a photo booth coffee station.
Coffee station photo booth.
You tried the coffee this morning. Didn't it have an espresso machine or something?
Yeah, it's got. I made myself an espresso this morning as well. Exactly. But Rob, tell us, what is a bungalow?
So, a bungalow is a small house or cottage that is only single story, and it may be surrounded by wide verandas. So,
there's no real wide verandas. There's only one veranda at the side.
Yeah, may, and that's why I wanted to put the emphasis on may, because it fits into the terms of bungalow, and it is, that term is used for this kind of house, like in England. They call just a single story just a bungalow. I wasn't familiar with that, and Lou said it one time.
No, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
it fits.
See, again, Josh, more information coming out of this podcast. Our listeners are just like, their ears are full of information at this podcast. But the most important thing, this Airbnb,
people know,
Josh, the most important thing that this Airbnb had for you was what?
Well, I'll just say the travel gods are smiling upon me once again because it's the number one complaint I have.
Yeah.
In Airbnbs, and it's now it's like the number one compliment is I need a hairdryer.
But not any hairdryer.
I mean, look at this. I need this.
Well, you can't. The listeners can't look at anything, Josh. But anyway.
So I go to look for the hairdryer, and I'm like, Craig, I can't find it.
I know.
And you're like, I saw it, Josh. And I go and I look and I grab a box. You guys, podcast listeners. Not only was there a hairdryer, but it's brand new.
Sealed in the box.
Sealed in the box. I tried to open it with a butter knife, and then Craig was like, use a steak knife. Anyway.
Rob, I really feel for Tammy. Like, I've been spending these trips away with Josh now, and I go, oh man, Tammy's got a heart of gold and patience, like from here to kingdom come. So anyway, yes, you got the box open, Josh.
This hairdryer, I can't believe that, maybe this is the theme of this podcast. Forget Orlando. But this hairdryer was brand new, had the little extender, the little fluffer on the end of it. I didn't use that yet, but I might consider using it tomorrow. But also it had multi-function. You could do hot, medium, or cool air.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, big deal.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah.
Well, it's not normal. It's not all hair dryers have the cool.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't use one.
Because what the cool does, you dry your hair like when it's wet, and then once it's dry, you put the product in, and then you hit the cool, and it seals the product in your hair, so it makes it stay up. Anyway,
I'm bald, so I have no idea about this stuff. Just to put it out there, but I had no idea.
You could dry your facial hair with it; it might do something. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if this is the reason people tune into this podcast, but let me just say, I'm giving this Airbnb. I mean, this is a 4.5 out of 5.
Oh,
there you go, and that's big for Josh. because he whether it be Airbnbs or Adventure Labs, Josh, you rate them how you rate them. You don't puff up the ratings at all.
No.
Yeah.
Little tricky to get into this one, but once we get in, it's perfect.
Oh.
True.
All right.
Yeah, that's the Airbnb. So we've talked about the Airbnb now. We've talked about the Tesla.
Yes.
Should we finish the Tesla story now before we move on? I think we should.
let's finish it in chronological order.
Oh, okay. You want to do that?
Because at this point we were just loving the Tesla. We were enjoying it.
Yeah.
It was great.
When you bend yourself in
here's
half
the
to get
deal.
it out. Yeah.
Right. So here's the deal. This podcast is about hidden gems. Not only are we in Orlando, and you ask people around the world, like there's so many people. I've talked to Germans, like people from around the world, and they're like, "Yes, I've been to America." And I'm like, "Where have you been?" Orlando. Because people want to go to When You Wish
The song.
on a Star.
Here he goes again, Rob.
Everywhere we went.
Everywhere we go. He's got a song,
Disney
a movie
World.
quote. Yeah.
Disney World. We went to. Are you kidding me? We're talking about Disney World on the Trenches of Our Town podcast.
Yeah. That's a hidden gem.
There's hidden Mickeys. There's certainly hidden Mickeys.
Yes, there is. We found a hidden Mickey in the on the way out, Josh. On
the Tesla.
On the Tesla, in the map of the Tesla, there was a hidden Mickey head. Yeah, we saw that one too. That was really cool. But yeah, so Disney World.
Yes.
Now,
Let's
Rob,
tell them why we went there. Yeah, Rob, tell us.
Yeah. Tell us why we went there, Rob.
All right. So my son just happens to work at Walt Disney World. He is a skipper on the world famous Jungle Cruise at the Magic Kingdom. And so we took a little time to head up there to so that I could go and visit him. So you guys accompanied me, and the good news is that I have the ability. I've got an annual pass, so I have the ability to get into the parking areas free with my annual pass. Now I turn it back over to you.
It's so funny because I'm just imagining you're like, I got a season pass, and me and Greg are probably like, do you think we get to go? Do we get to go to Disney? Do we get to go? It's a small world. Do we get to go? No, he leaves us in the parking lot.
Exactly.
But not exactly.
We'll say this, Josh. If people don't know what the world famous Jungle Cruise is, etc., and they want to see more of it, and they want to see actually Rob's son in action. Rob's went there, and on his YouTube channel, Josh, is him on the Jungle Cruise with his son. It's a great video, and guess what, Josh? Link is in the description below.
I haven't seen that video. Is that on your Beer Snob Rob channel?
I think that the full video is actually over on my wife's channel on Lou's channel.
LouTube. She's got more publicity than you. Like she's got, and rightfully so.
My LouTube, but I'm pretty sure she's the one who put the full video up.
Either way, the link for that video itself will be in the description below. So that's what it is. So Rob left us, Josh.
He abandoned us.
He did.
Not exactly in the parking lot. We got on the People Mover, and the People Mover takes you to the front of the park.
Yeah.
And then you have to go even through kind of security to be in like that front area.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the beauty. This podcast is about location-based games and the places it brings you. It's a travel podcast. And what do you know? But there are location-based games everywhere. So, first of all, I probably got a million just at Disney alone. 1 million munzee points.
Yeah, you did.
Just at Disney alone.
Yep, you did.
And I could, with the radius extenders and all
and the boosters,
that nerdy stuff,
I
could reach stuff. So that was great. And then we've talked about it on this show before. There were not one, not two, not three, but four adventure labs.
Yep.
Adventures. And you can access them all outside of Disney. You don't have to pay a dime, especially if you have a friend that has a parking pass.
Yeah, that's right.
And the best things about these, Josh, as well, is that people don't understand you don't even have to walk that far at all because there is a free, that's right, free, FREE, monorail that you ride or at the front of the actual Disney World itself, and you can get the Adventure Labs on the monorail, Josh. And that's what we did.
Yes.
We
So
rode the monorail, the free
so
monorail.
we explored.
Yeah.
There were 2 sections of the monorail. We explored. There was one that's a loop that goes from the Magic Kingdom and hits the resorts around there. And then there's another one that goes from Magic Kingdom to Epcot Center.
Yes.
And
Yes.
basically, if you don't know what Adventures Labs are, it's location based. So you get to a location, it opens up a question once you get to that space, and then you answer the question, and you get a find for your geocaching profile.
Yeah.
So three, no, there was one of them was for the one that went to the resorts, and then 2 of them was basically 10 spots on the way to Epcot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was kind of cool because the Epcot one didn't stop. It just, once it got to Epcot, it stopped.
Yep.
So you're sitting there on this monorail on a FREE free ride.
Free monorail ride.
And it wasn't about necessarily that location, but when you got to that area, it had a trivia question about Disney World. Disney World.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Rightfully
it was
so.
a fun way to experience
And
that.
and so, Josh, I've never been to obviously Disney World. I didn't realize what I was getting myself in for, etc. And so I'm on this monorail and I'm enjoying it. I'm doing some video work. And by the way, yes, video link will be in the description below as well for yours when it comes out, because I think it's going to come out after this podcast.
Yes.
But either way, video's there. So I'm doing video work and everything as well. And Josh, I look out the window and what do I see? It opened up my eyes and I went, Josh, it's the ball. It's the ball.
And I was like, what? The bowl? I was like, I know you're hungry.
No, the ball.
There's no bowl.
I said, it's like a big golf ball. And you're like, oh, that's Epcot. You've never known Epcot. I've seen it on movies and TV shows, but I didn't know where it was, Josh. I didn't know what it was.
Yes.
It just looks like a big ball to me.
The technical term for the ball is Spaceship Earth. And I had forgotten that you were right next to it.
Yeah.
As you're entering Epcot.
Yeah.
And
it's really cool.
It's a sight to be seen.
It really is. It's got you got the big American flag just flapping in the breeze at the front, mate. It was very, very movie-like to me, especially doing my videos and that as well. I'm there going, oh, look at this, filming section, and it was beautiful, and the silver and the flag, and then of course, and of course, munzee everywhere as well. Don't get us wrong. We're still playing munzee while we're doing this as well. So yeah, it really surprised me. I was pleasantly surprised. And Josh, all this, I'll say it again, for free.
Yes.
For free.
And let me just say this. I felt a little bad for you because I have been to all the Walt Disney parks.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for you because I was like, we're at Epcot. And if there's any park at Disney that you would enjoy, Craig, it would be Epcot. And I want to just say, for those of you who are listening that are just like, oh, you're rolling your eyes. You're like, come on, Disney. Oh, Disney adults. Epcot is a different sort of experience. Yeah. And it's got to be experienced. And Rob, I'm just going to throw it to you.
You're a fan. I knew where you were going, Josh. I know where you're dropping down.
You're a fan of Epcot. Tell us what's great about Epcot. I know
I'm sitting here. Ready. I'm chomping at the bit. Let me tell him. Yeah. I'm a huge Disney fan. Always have been. That's a majority of why my son works there, because he was raised properly, of course, to enjoy Disney. So Epcot is amazing because it is very, it's a lot more adult oriented. There are different worlds that you walk around. It's called the World Showcase. And so you go and walk around the entire park, and they have foods and beverages in each one of those lands that are like authentic to those regions. Well, some of the foods are authentic and some of the beverages are. Some of them are based here. They're just made to and inspired by the countries. So there's a group of individuals out there called the Disney Day Drinkers Club, also known as D3. So a shout out to all of my fellow D3 members. So Lou and I are D3 members, Disney Day Drinkers, and we spent New Year's Eve crawling around the world, is what it's considered, having a drink in each of the different worlds. And so you, Craig, would really enjoy it. And if my son hadn't been working, he would have been able to use some of his tickets to get both of you in, and we could have crawled around the world. But we'll have to go back another time because they've got some delicious beers. They really do. All
Yeah.
across, and they've got a special festival of the arts going on right now. So there's even more unique special beers that are out there, and they're all like brewed locally. It's really cool. Yeah, it's
Now,
good.
we have to say this now as well. Once, if you want to go into Epcot and experience it, that's when you pay the price. You can't. That's not free, you know, to
No.
actually go into these places. But to do more of the monorails is, etc. Now, Rob, is it true? I did see on your Instagram page, etc. as well. When you do these beers across the world, basically, you have like this fake tattoo up your arm, and then once you get the fake tattoo, as you go along, you actually cross them off like a list. You
Hmm.
cross them off on your arm.
Yeah, yeah.
That looks
So
really, really cool.
I've recorded a video, but I love to keep videos on my phone instead of sharing them with the world. But I've got a video of me doing a beer
Mhm.
review in all. I think it's 8 worlds, 8 sections of the park, and so a drink from each of them. It's Mexico, Norway, China, then on around to Germany, Italy. The U.S. has a section. Morocco, Japan, England, France, and Canada. And so having a drink in each of those places and checking it off on a fake tattoo on your arm. And by the end of the evening, the check mark was not quite as neat
Yeah.
as the others.
No, and
But yeah,
rightly so.
I was successful in my endeavor, and so was Lou. We both managed to make it all the way around the world,
Now,
and
I've got one
still
question though.
standing.
I have another question though, and
Mhm.
that is, can you be a day drinker if you don't start in the morning?
Ooh, there you go. It's the motto of the club. The motto of the club is you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
There
So
you go.
yeah, yeah. It's a good motto. There's also a mascot, which is Benny. So
Mm,
Benny is a trash bin, and
yeah.
he is in the UK section. He's in England, right in front of the Rose and Crown pub. And so people
Mhm.
go and take pictures with him and all that stuff. So I apologize again that I couldn't get you guys in there, but you got to do all the free stuff,
Yeah.
and I think that's the point of what this is all about. So
Yes.
Exactly
that's
right.
the tips. So
Exactly
I'm
right.
giving you the tips of if you can get into Epcot, check it out. Some really good stuff to enjoy.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So then after we did this, we actually met, all three of us met back up again.
Mhm.
And Josh, tell him at the Skyline. I'd never even heard of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You know, that I hadn't even heard of this.
Yeah, I'd never experienced this either. There was another adventure lab that was 5 stages, and
Mhm.
again, another unique experience that I it's kind of unbelievable that this is free because it's
It's
basically
free.
it's like a ride,
It is.
and basically we got back in the car and then we went to
Mhm.
Hollywood Studios. At Hollywood Studios, you can get on a skyline. It's like this kind of gondola
Yeah.
ride
Mhm.
that will take you to another resort. It'll take you all the way back to Epcot, and in the middle and at each stop there were some questions, and we got 5 more fines, and
Yeah.
it was just an example of just one of those unique experiences that I probably well, I know I would not have done it without the
Yeah.
Adventure Lab app.
Exactly, exactly. Now, we say they're free, and they are absolutely free. You will need to pay for parking if you don't have the yearly pass like Rob does. However, there is a totally free option if you actually get the free bus into these places. So there is a free bus into these places as well. So you don't even need to pay for parking, Josh. So
So
that blew my mind.
so you go to it's not downtown Disney. What is it called
No,
now? It's
Disney
called
Springs. You can go and
yes,
park for free at Disney Springs.
yes.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. There
And
you
then
And
catch a
go.
bus to you can go to lots of the different resorts from Disney Springs, and then
Mhm.
from there you can get to Hollywood Studios or Magic Kingdom or any of those kinds of things. That is I'd say it's a well-known secret, but not
Mhm.
super
yeah.
well known. Yeah.
It's going to be super well known after all our listeners listen to this.
Yeah.
What is it called, Rob? The travel hub that's kind of close to Magic Kingdom. It's
Transportation and Ticket Center, the TTC. Yeah.
the TTC. So here's the deal: if you're
Yeah.
interested in doing these 4 adventure labs, that's where you need to get. You need to get to the TTC, because if
Mm.
you can get there, you can get to almost any of these locations.
Yep.
Exactly. So that was our trip to Disney. That's our information. That's what we input, all free, mate. You can't get any better than that. So then after we went to Disney, Josh, we hit up another Munzee event on the Friday night. Now this, Josh, I believe this is a hidden gem, like our podcast states.
Yes.
Yeah. Where were we and what did we do? What did we see?
Lake Nona was our area, and we spent most of our time in this Lake Nona area, which is sort of like, it's kind of the southern part of Orlando. Is that right? It's is it south of the airport?
Yes.
South of the airport.
Yep.
So it's kind of like on the southern end of Orlando, and this place is just like, it's beautiful down here. We walked through some of the neighborhoods. It was like Mayberry, new houses, and the architecture here, like the even the parking ramps were like a sight to behold. Everything was like art, and there was sculpture, and there was restaurants, and this is where we spent a lot of our areas. And Friday night, there was a place that had like this restaurant, and it was a location called the Stained Glass House, and it was exactly what you think it would be. It was indeed a stained glass house.
Yeah,
and it was just beautiful. And you're going to see some of that on some of the videos and photos, but
exactly.
it was a beautiful location for a Munzee event. And so, sometimes, sometimes Munzee events, we get a bad rap sometimes. Oh, it's just, you're in parking lots capping light poles. And it's not true.
Yeah, no.
A lot of these events are just beautiful places, beautiful parks. And that was my experience all through the Munzee Mecca events.
Exactly. And what I love about the Munzee events as well, Josh, is with these, what do you call them? The QR codes that are only there for only a couple of hours while the actual event takes place. They make you walk. They actually get you out and exercise, but you also socialize while you walk, because you all got a common goal. Now, the place we were at in the stained glass house, we did walk the streets. These streets, Josh, they are stunning. They're beautiful, to the point where almost we even said, I think we said it ourselves as well, that they look like the Truman Show.
Yeah,
that's
a great example.
Yeah, it was like the Truman Show.
That's a great photo, mental picture of what that actually looks like.
Yeah. It was getting dark. But in saying that, when it was getting dark, all their front porch lights come on, and all the houses were lit up beautifully. Manicured gardens as well, like they were on the Truman Show. Like, everything was done exactly to plan. So we did walk around the neighborhood, and we capped lots and lots of points. Now, Josh, are you ready? Are you ready for your own brag? Go ahead. You beat me, I know.
Here's some Munzee. I'll say a little bit of Munzee nerdiness for you. I've been playing Munzee for 12 years. 12 years, Craig.
Yeah, longer than me.
And I have never,
in
my 12 years of playing Munzee, gotten 1,000,000 points in one day.
I got it last year, but anyway.
I know. You've gotten it before. Minnesota boy got it last year as well. Out in California.
Yeah, he did.
Old Josh hasn't even attained or reached that ever. And yesterday. It was just yesterday. It was Friday. Not only did I hit 1 million. Not only did I hit 2 million.
No.
I hit 3 million points in one day.
Whoa. Now, to give people, Josh, give people perspective here.
I think Rob should. Rob should give. Is that a lot, Rob?
Yeah. That's a lot. That it takes commitment and effort, and a lot of time, a lot of pushing a button to capture, or possibly a lot of blast captures. So 100 at a time.
Yeah. I might have used a few.
Yeah.
Just for everyone's information, like, personally, I play this game Munzee every single day. I average anywhere between 12 to 18,000 a day. 12 to 18,000. You got over 3 million. That's to give people the idea about, in terms of how many points that actually is to obtain in one day. So well done. Congratulations.
I'm the president, and I average about 30,000 points a day. So that tells you there's quite a multiplier there to get 3 million. So yeah, that's right. And I mean, same. I play every day, but I also have so many things that are the bouncers that are deployed that are capped, and they've been bouncing for 13 years now, basically. And so yeah.
And a big shout out to Josh, a big shout out to all the players that actually attended this event, but not only the players, because a lot of them got PBs over this over the last couple of days, but also other players around the world. Because unlike any other type of sort of location-based games, Josh, as you know, if you're in another country and you want to be a part of this, if you want to be a part and involved, you can actually deploy what they call cards or virtual munzees in the location where everyone's going to be, and you can then be a part. You can be a part of the fun. You can be a part of the process, and you get the extra points for when they get capped here on in this area. So that's pretty cool. I love that about munzee, mate. I love that about munzee.
And then after I got 3 million points, it was time to celebrate because we were hungry. At least I was hungry.
Josh, before you move on, I got a personal best too yesterday as well. I got a personal best.
You did?
Oh, just over 2 million for me. Yeah, my personal best was over 1 million before.
Yes.
Now it's over 2 million, and I'm happy with that. Thank you. See what he does, Rob? See what he does this to me all the time.
He just ignored
overshadows.
Right.
Overshadows. Anyway, we're moving on. Where do we go after this for dinner, Josh? Where do we go for dinner?
So we went north, about a half hour to another neighborhood that was just a lovely neighborhood. I was really impressed with it. It was called Winter Park neighborhood. If you're from Orlando, you probably know where it is. But we went to Cochina. Let's call the whole thing off. Cochina 214, because a friend of mine that I work with lives down here in Orlando, and I was like, give me the hidden gems. I want the places that the tourists don't necessarily go. And she suggested this Mexican restaurant in Winter Park. And get this was the draw, and it worked.
Yeah, it did.
It's a Mexican restaurant, and they have margaritas that are laced on the top. It's not salt on the top. It's not sugar per se on the top. It was Pop Rocks on the lid of the top of the glass. Pop Rocks.
They're rimmed, Josh. They're rimmed.
They're rimmed with Pop Rocks.
Well, here's a question for both of you now, Josh. Rob first. When was the last time you actually had Pop Rocks in your mouth?
Oh,
like when did you last consume Pop Rock?
It's definitely been years, several.
And what about you, Josh? How old? Josh was going to know exactly the date that he asked.
Well, I work with young people, so I've probably had them, but it's been probably about 10 years.
Oh, it's still 10 years is decent. It's still 10 years is decent. Yeah, it's been. What am I now? I'm 48 years of age, and I'm seriously when I say I was a teenager the last time I had Pop Rocks.
Wow, they have Pop Rocks in Australia.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you don't have Cheetos, so it's just
no. But yeah, we did have Pop Rocks in Australia. They're not big now, though. Pop Rocks in Australia aren't big now. Like I haven't seen them since I was a teenager.
Yeah, they're not even really popular here anymore either. If you want to get them, you have to go to like a specialty candy store.
Yes, yeah. So, Josh, your opinion of the Pop Rocks margarita?
What did I say when I took a sip and bite?
It's like a party in my mouth that's going down my throat.
Pretty much. Party in my mouth and went down my throat. And it was, the sugary Pop Rocks, it was fun. And it was a good mix with the margarita.
Exactly.
But it's something you have to try, people. I love it. But let's greater than the Pop Rocks. Oh my gosh. This was probably the best food I've had all weekend. I had some fried chicken tacos that were just next level. Oh, they were really good. Really good. How was your food?
I had mushroom and truffle quesadilla. Oh man, I was doing like a little shuffle after I finished that little piece. I'll tell you that much. Rob, what did you have, mate?
I had carnitas tacos, and same thing, delicious. Everything about it was great.
Yeah.
I liked
So
it. Just the some of the garnishes on it. It was like
yeah.
It was like some of the corn salsa that was in there, and oh god,
Yeah.
it was so tasty.
But in saying
And
that, it wasn't the cheapest Mexican place you'll go to. We'll just say
oh
that. You
no,
know, it's
No.
not like with the free stuff we've been giving out already in this episode. Yeah, it is a little bit more pricey than normal Mexican food. But you know what? I think personally, worth it. Worth it. Hashtag worth it. So yeah.
Yep.
But then Josh, after we finished our meal, we had to walk it off, mate, as we do. You know, walk off the meal, walk off the margaritas. You know, Rob sobers up a bit so he can drive.
Yeah.
And there was down the road, there was a beautiful park. Of course, obviously, it's Winter Park. So we walked down the Winter Park. And as we're going down, Josh says to me, he stopped me, Craig, there's the best thing, geocaching thing here. I went, what? What, an adventure lab? He goes, better. I said, what? A webcam geocache, Josh.
yeah.
A
And
webcam.
let me just tell you, a lot of geocachers would say that's the best thing ever. I wouldn't say that, but because I don't think they're that. Honestly, I don't think they're that great. But what they are is they're rare.
And you know that I love them, Josh. So you were saying
You
to
love
me,
them? Really?
Yeah, I love webcam caches. I love them. Yeah. I think I love them more because they're so rare.
That's what I mean. I like them because they're rare, but that's kind of the only reason I like them.
Oh,
like if there were tons of them, would you like them? You know what I mean? Like,
so, Rob, I'm going to ask you this question now. Why doesn't Josh like webcam caches when the whole point about being a webcam cache is that you get to see yourself on a video? Hello.
Well,
ouch.
Okay, well,
Shots fired.
Well, let's just be honest. Maybe that may be true, but let's be real. Every webcam that I've gone to, the video quality is not good enough.
Oh, that's what it is, Rob.
Beautiful face.
That's true. It was a very distant shot, black and white, so you couldn't see how colorful I was.
Yeah,
and so
this is true.
Yeah.
This is true. And Rob is colorful. If he's going around to events, etc., he wears a bright green jacket with a big munzee QR code on the back. And yes. So that's Rob whenever he goes to a munzee event. So the webcam, there you go, webcam cache.
Well,
in Orlando.
Can we just say this too, Craig? If people
course.
don't know what a webcam is, because you can't make assumptions.
No, this is true.
This is a virtual type geocache. There's not a physical geocache there. No. You go to the location and there's some sort of public webcam there that you can access nowadays on your phone. We use in the old days, you had to call a friend and say, can you log on? And then, can you see me? Can you see me? Anyway, then you take a screenshot of yourself in the webcam, and that's the find.
Yeah.
Even as I described.
And that's the done. And it's all said and done.
Yeah. Even as
they're rare now. I was gonna say they're rare now because they're not working anymore for internet purposes, and because they're so old, they're just being archived and you can't put any more out. So there's getting less and less of them in the world. So I think, Josh, there's under 100 now in the US. So that's how rare they are. So
they're very rare.
So that's the webcam geocache. And again, more information, go to our links in the show notes. So exactly. But Josh, then we came back to the Airbnb, and you did what you always love to do whenever we go to an Airbnb and we travel together. What did you do, Josh? And this is not sponsored.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't just do it by myself. You made it sound like I'm the only one that enjoys this.
Yeah. I was wondering what it was. I was like,
because let's be real, Craig. You're a 2-for-1 on me usually on this.
Yeah, I am.
For every one, you go 2.
Well, I'm thirsty. I'm a thirsty guy.
We live the high life in our Airbnb.
Yeah.
Miller High Life. And you know what? At Christmas, I bought a bunch of Miller High Life, and I couldn't believe how much of like snobs my family was about beer. They're like, Miller High Life is like, it's the champagne of beers. Are you kidding me? Now, Rob is beer snob Rob.
He's beer snob Rob.
So maybe he doesn't want to admit it. Maybe he's like, this is a cheap beer that. What's your opinion? Honest opinion, Rob.
You like it, so that makes it great. That's what my opinion.
Do you like it?
No, your honest opinion, Rob. We're after your honest opinion.
Oh, my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Well, it is a macro brewery, that's for sure. It is a good beer. I will say that. Like
Mm.
if I have to choose, from macro brewery options, I'm not going to go with some of the others, Coors and all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the Miller High Life, buying that to have here, not a problem. We also supplemented that. Like I brought some of my own, as you know, I'm more on the sour side or various different
Yep.
types. Craig's the IPA guy, so brought some IPAs that I traveled in with, brought some nice sour beers so I could sit down and enjoy them. But yes, we all did crack the Miller High Life because I've listened to you guys. You talk about it all the time, and I'm always like, well, I'm not going to drink that while I'm away from them because it won't be nearly the same thing. And I'll just wait until I'm with you guys. So it was nice to raise a glass with both of you.
It was, and we appreciate that, Rob. Rob, thank you so much, mate. And just to round out the night as well, Rob also purchased for us Josh's other favorite item whenever he goes away: the Truscott biscuits with the cheese.
What'd you call them?
Truscott? What do you call them?
Triscuits.
Triscuit, Truscott, a biscuit, a busket, whatever. Tomato.
Yes. There's nothing like eating a wicker basket with cheese with Miller High Life to make your evening complete.
It works.
They are tasty. The ones you like, Josh, are actually tasty. So that was our Friday night. Moving on to today, Josh, Saturday.
We slept in a bit. We were tired.
You slept in a bit.
Oh yeah, okay. You're right. You're right. Well, there was no rush.
This is true.
I mean, I already got 3 million points the previous day.
Oh, there he is. He's tagging again. Wow.
It is funny but it is weird waking up the next day. I think I woke up at, probably 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the leaderboard. There was at 9 a.m. there were people that had a 1.5 million points already.
Yes.
I tell you, if you want to really play this game at a extra special level, come down to Florida or Minnesota in May or California in, is it March?
March.
Yeah.
So we're about to head out for the day for the main event of Munzee Mecca. And I go to the table, I get my, my Starbucks drink, and then Rob hands me a little QR code, and I'm like, oh, cool, what's this? I was like, cool, thanks for the little QR code. And it was kind of like a little surprise. It was pretty cool.
It was.
Do you want to explain,
really cool.
Craig, what we received?
No, I want Rob to explain what we received.
Okay.
He can explain it better because he gave it to us.
Yeah, that's true.
Rob, what did you give to us, mate? What did you give to us?
So whenever I travel to events, because we have events on all the time, all over the world, and we choose some special ones that me or other team members might travel to. So sometimes we bring special people along, like the two of you, and special. And
with quotation points.
Yeah, exactly. So we kind of make travel badges for ourselves, so that it's kind of like an extra perk for if we come to an event or if people meet us out, that kind of stuff. So yeah, set up a special travel badge for, as it said on the badge, partying with Seemyshell, partying with Geocaching Vlogger at Munzee Mecca in Florida. So it was fun. It gives everyone at the event a reason to come over and talk to you, which is kind of nice because the three of us are definitely like, hey, let's chat. Want to talk about Munzee, want to talk about whatever else is going on, specifically some location-based stuff, and so it's fun. So yeah, you guys both got badges. It's not a common thing for other people outside the company really to get them. So I was happy to have you guys both along to do that.
And we both, Rob, appreciate it so much. I mean, I for one was a little bit in shock in regards to it because I mean, I understand that I've been, doing a bit of the more of the Munzee stuff as well with the Munzee podcast and the Munzee monthly videos that we produce as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, to actually see my type logo, with the microphone in a badge sort of location for a location based game that I didn't even create. I was like, oh yes, there it is. It's like, yes, there it is. It looks really cool. So yes, thanks mate, to you and the team, and for creating it and allowing us to be sort of part of this adventure for this weekend. So that was pretty cool. Josh, you liked yours too. Yours was
Yeah.
cool.
I did like it. It's really cool to be in the game. Like we're in the game now.
Right.
Yes.
I have another badge. You know, Craig, I have 2 badges now.
See the one up, Rob? He one up. Yeah. I know you got the 2. I capped your first one, John.
Yeah, Josh has had a badge in the game for quite a few years now.
He's been around a lot longer, so understandable.
6 years,
so understand the number 1 referral person in the world we're listening to and speaking to right now. So yeah.
Well, I'm kind of like a coexist man. That's kind of my persona.
Yeah.
And what I mean by coexist is that we believe that all geolocation based games can be enjoyed together, and you can enjoy different ones, and you don't have to have allegiance to one thing.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, we went to the main event, which was at another beautiful park. And what did we do? We coexisted and we went geocaching while we were playing munzee.
Yeah,
and we didn't just go geocaching with Josh and I, and the video camera. Rob, who is the munzee president, come along with us as well. And Josh, I will say this. Rob found 2 out of the 3, and I found the other 1. So what did you actually do when we went coexisting?
I filmed it.
I was going to say, he held the camera, if I remember correctly.
He held the camera this time, exactly.
Stood out in the grass while we were marching around through the trees, getting poked in the eye.
And that video will be links in the description. So there you go.
I have to edit it, and hopefully I don't have to stay too late to edit that tonight.
It's 11:15 now, so you better hurry up, John.
But the main event, the main munzee Mecca event, was at Barber Park. Is it Barber? Yeah, Barber Park.
Yeah.
And it was great fun. It was a mega, which means there were over 50 people there. Yeah. And it was just kind of like the who's who of munzee.
Yeah.
And people were just getting points, and there was great food served. Oh, I didn't put this in the show notes.
What?
Seemyshell got to experience another American thing for the first time
ever.
He got to experience. Tell them, Craig.
I don't even know what you call it. Okay, so they actually had at these munzee mega events as well. They feed you. They actually have food. It was free. Organizers have food there for you as well. So why wouldn't you go? But yeah, they said, "Oh, Craig, would you like some lunch or whatever?" I'm like, "Oh no, I got a camera in my hand, one hand. I got my phone in the other hand. I was doing work. I was busy. No." And then someone else went and jumped in line to actually, and I watched, Josh. I watched what they did. So you had one person there, and I think it was the actual event organizer, Coldcracker7. She did a great job. She was there. She puts her hand in a box, pulls out this little bag of, you call them Fritos, like a little snack bag of Fritos.
Yeah.
She's got scissors in the other hand, Josh. She cuts off the top of the Fritos. The bag, poof, opens up just like it's meant to do. And then she hands the bag over to the next person. The next person gets some of this. We call it mince in Australia. You call it like ground beef. Ground beef and some like brown and some gravy. And she dumps that in the actual bag, the Fritos bag. Moves along to the next person. Gets a little bunch of cheese. Puts the cheese in there. Next person, lettuce. Next person, a bit of salsa. And what have you got? You've got yourself a handheld, like mess-free, you call them what, tacos or
walking
tacos, and you have a little plastic fork that you can then eat it on the go, mess-free. Nothing falls. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna have one of these then. I saw that when I went, yeah, okay, I'm gonna have one. So there you go.
It's amazing, tasty, right?
Really, really tasty. These Fritos, I'm telling you, the seasoning. I think it's a seasoning in the Fritos that mixes with the cheese and then mixes with the salsa, and you get all that little tangy, salty goodness, and then the crunch factor of the lettuce and the Fritos. I was like, yeah, this is my jam. So yeah, there you go. And I sat down next to you, Josh, and I said to you, I've never had this before. And your eyes, again, you're like, is this another first, Craig? I'm like, yes, it is. So there you go.
Olive Garden. Jimmy John's, Fireflies. And now Walking Taco. These are all things I experienced.
You forgot Denny's as well.
Oh, and Denny's.
Denny's as well. Yeah,
these are all these things that you've experienced for the first time with me. And this is some of the best stuff in America, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, all the tasty, like not so good for your food, but anyway. So after that, we had the amazing lunch. Then it was a time for Josh. Josh as Josh is always, and you probably hear it in the podcast, he loves little hidden gems, and he loves these tours of towns.
Yes.
I think, Josh, that's the reason why you like Adventure Labs to a certain degree as well, because they take you to places. Josh, this event had like a tour of the town munzee. Yes.
You know, we
Tell us
talked
about the tour of the town munzee.
Yeah, we talked about geo tours a lot on this podcast, and that's sort of like geocaching, taking you to cool spots. Well, munzee has this too at some events, and this is called, well, for this event, it was called Tour of the Town, and it was munzees that were hidden in locations that were just special. So we went back down to Lake Nona, where we were the previous night, and walked through this sort of, it's kind of like a office sort of business area, but industrial area, but they did such a good job with the design. Lots of green space, lots of art, public art and sculptures. They had a full sculpture park in front of the Wave Hotel. So here's the thing, if you ever go to Lake Nona, if you stay somewhere, stay at the Wave Hotel first of all, and the whole front of it is this magical, it felt magical. It's so magical that locals were coming there to take photos. You know, there was a wedding party there taking photos. And I
was going to say, Josh, your favorite moment was, so we're doing videos, people. You can understand this. So I've got my camera out, and it's a largish camera, and Josh is in front of me, and Josh is like, "Oh, let's do a walk and talk." That's basically where you walk. He walks and he talks, and I film and walk backwards. And so we're doing this walk and talk. And you know what? Josh being Josh, he's very good at it, and he was a one-take wonder, as normally he is.
Yeah. I even said it afterwards, one take wonder.
One take wonder, boom, let's go. Meanwhile, Rob is sort of standing behind me, and Rob's got his phones in his hands, and he's capping away with munzee and stuff as well. So he's busy. But it looks like this, Josh. It looked like you being the front man. Me being the cameraman, because you know I'm not really that good looking to be in the front camera. Meanwhile, then we've got Rob in the background as well on the phones, organizing things like the director/producer, and we got stopped and we got asked, "Oh, what TV show is this?"
And I was tempted to lie in that moment, but instead I told him the truth. I was like, and I totally downplayed it. I was like, "It's just YouTube. We're nothing. We're nothing."
Yeah. We're nothing. I've only got 100,000 followers. We're nothing. We're nothing. I've spent 12 years to get a silver play button. We're nothing. We're nothing. But let's say this: that little park, Josh, again, free park. And beautiful sculpture garden, beautiful sculptures in it as well. If you're going to go to it, though, we'll suggest this. Just make sure you walk around on the roads. Don't try and do any shortcuts through boggy park.
It's a little wet down here. A little wet down here in Florida. All right. So we did, I don't know how many spots it was, maybe 10 different spots. One of the spots was the glass house. And again, this was unique just to the event. So this is not something you can just come down and here and experience. So if you want to experience some of these more unique things, it's the events that some of these special things happen.
Exactly. Josh, before we move on to the next part, question for you though, in that little sculpture garden, what do you think was your favorite actual sculpture itself? Here you go. Look at that. I'll put you on the spot. This isn't in the show notes.
I think it was the one that was behind me on the walk and talk.
Oh,
that was like the blockheads.
The big blockhead, and it was so it was a big blockhead person basically with a square head, and it was all mirrored like, and it was all in different shapes. So it was real staticky mirror like. That was really cool. Rob, what was yours, mate? What was yours?
Ooh. I know you said that, and I had to look up and think, but I did stop and take a selfie with one of the statues. There was these three bodies that were like dark and had like cloaks over the top and sort of a bony golden hand coming out of one of them. They look like Death Eaters or Dementors or something like that. And it was like, I feel you. Yeah.
The best part about those as well is that there wasn't anything inside. It was cloaks. You could actually put your hand in where the head normally is. So it was empty cloaks that were actually in the shape of humans. That was really cool. Yeah. I really liked that one. Me, Josh, I like the blockheads, but I love the blockhead that had his arm up looking at his watch. And as Rob pointed out as well, at one point in time, you can actually see the perfect reflection of his watch from his face. If you look at his head,
that's cool.
There you go. That was really cool. So so go to the park itself. It's near the Wave hotel. So yeah, make sure you go there. So that's
Well, and
the
if you,
tour of the
this is
town.
a tough thing to describe on a podcast, so this video
Oh,
will be
I think
out
we
in a
did a good
couple
job.
weeks. Yeah, a
This is
couple
true.
weeks.
This is true.
Couple weeks, you're going to see some of the video of this, and I believe this is coming out on the 22nd of January. So the video may be out by then.
Yeah, exactly. It should be out by then because it's going to come out next week, I think. But anyway,
yes, exactly.
So after that, we had to go to the final event for the day.
Yes.
Now, this was quite funny for me, Josh, because we drove, or Rob drove us there, and as we drove through, you're looking around, you're like, oh, look, there's a dumpster there with a munzee on it. Blah, blah, blah. You talk about the dumpster and the munzee, and then we get out of the car, and I hear this sound, this zzz,
Yeah, I thought it was
like a whirring sound.
Well, I thought it was drones.
Yeah, so did I. But then you looked over and you said, oh, there's people water skiing, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're water skiing. But you thought they were water skiing from drones.
Yeah, I thought drones were, because I couldn't see, because there was that the big high ropes course was in front, so I couldn't see exactly what was happening. So I heard the whirling and I saw people skiing, but there was no boats. And I was like, oh my gosh, people are being pulled by drones while they're skiing. Well, I was wrong.
Let's get this clear. Basically, it is like a high wire zip line that goes all the way around, and they are pulling like the cable cars. Instead of carrying people in a cable car, they tow people as they're doing skiing, and they've got like jumps and ramps and slides, etc., that people can do as they go around in this big circle. So we watched that for a little while. Yeah,
this is I couldn't stop watching it because it's really hard to explain. I mean, it's a lake, and they've set up these wires all around the whole lake. And I'm watching these basically kids, like teenage kids, jump off these things and stuff like that. And I'm like, what happens when they, because typically when you ski and you fall, the boat picks you up. Well, if these guys wipe out, they have to swim to a dock thing that's all around the lake, and then they walk around, kind of like walking on water on these floating. It's fascinating.
Yeah,
It's
it is
really cool. Look up on YouTube tow skiing. I'd never seen anything like it, and I live in the land of 10,000 lakes.
And tow skiing, TOW, not TOE.
No,
So
it's
that's
TOW. Yes, TOW.
Yeah, so we had another munzee event there too, which again became mega because there's more than 50. So that was three mega events in the space of 2 days here in Orlando. So that was really cool. But as always, Josh, you get hungry. Where did we have to go?
Wait. Only I get hungry.
I was
think we
hungry.
were all hungry.
Yeah, I was hungry.
Good. Thank you, Rob.
I was hungry, but Josh is the only one that complains about it. Like,
you can tell. Maybe let's just say you can tell when Josh is hungry.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, we went back to the Lake Nona business area.
Yeah,
and there was also a place across the street. Was it Rob Boxer?
Yeah, Boxy Park. So for Boxy, where we were previously at the tow skiing is Nona Adventure Park. So that's where we were.
Yes.
And then we went to this place to eat, and this was right next to Boxy Park, BOXI. Yeah.
And the Boxy Park was cool. We did not get to have time to walk in there, but there was live music playing there all day.
Yeah.
But when we heard the words beer and brewery, I'm sorry, not beer and brewery,
pizza and brewery,
they were all there. Pizza and brewery.
Yeah,
we knew that's it. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
It's time. And again, we got to sit outside with these heaters. It's about 65 degrees. So it was a little chilly, but not too bad. And and there was a DJ playing in this like green space area, like playing, and then they were projecting like a light show on the parking garage, which doesn't sound cool, but if you saw it, you'd be like, oh, that's cool. It was a lovely meal. Had a Hawaiian pizza because pineapple belongs on pizza, as we all know.
Yeah, it does.
See, this is where I disagree with you both. But anyway, I had one. I still had a slice, but I disagree.
You ate it. I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Because I'm, a team player.
Greg, you didn't like that? You didn't like it?
I'm not a big fan of pineapple on pizza, but I will say this: I was not going to get the what was it now? We had that's right, in the tiki room. This is winding back now to the Friday. in the tiki room, we had lunch at the tiki room, and I had these tiki nachos. I wasn't going to get the tiki nachos because it said pineapple salsa. But you know what, Josh? I'm glad I did, because they were delicious and divine. And I've never had nachos with plain actual chips, like crisps, like, you know, like not they're not Doritos. They were plain chips as the chips. So, but anyway, it was good. It was delicious. I enjoyed it, and I'll be making some when I get home. Anyway, there you go. So I'm not a pineapple hater. Josh, I'm from New Jersey now.
Yeah.
I don't do pineapple on pizza. That's Hawaiian. So
What?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's Hawaiian.
Didn't you know that?
I'm from Minnesota. You can't think of anything farther from Hawaii than Minnesota.
Joshua, here's one for you. I'm going to teach you something right now, and that is pineapple on pizza is called a Hawaiian pizza.
I know this.
You do?
That.
Oh, well,
yes, of
there
course.
There you go.
But and you can enjoy Hawaiian pizza without being from Hawaii.
Okay, maybe it's because when I was younger, I burnt a Hawaiian pizza in the oven.
Now the truth comes out.
Do you know why? Because I should have cooked it on a aloha temperature.
Oh, God,
there you go.
Okay, well, great episode
I gotta go.
Great episode of episode 2 of season 2 of Treasure of Town. How can they find us?
I know, right? I know. I knew you'd love that. But Josh, we had a really good waiter though at the Park Pizza and Brewing Company as well. He was really good. He came out. He's very attentive. Yes. You know, he helped us out with our food and everything as well. Would you say that he's proud of his town?
Oh, certainly.
Oh, I'm getting it now. Yeah.
He's proud of that area. He's proud of that. Proud of that restaurant. He's proud of the pizza. He's proud of the beers they serve there. I would say he was very proud. Of his town.
Yeah, it's a rare thing.
You did it this time.
Oh, Rob's doing it. Rob's doing it. It's a rare thing.
Rob?
I said that's a rare thing these days.
There it is.
You know what? It's a damn rare thing.
All right. Well, I think we're going to have to leave it, Josh, on that joke note. I'm just saying. But those Patreons who are out there, thank you very much for your support. It is very much appreciated. And hopefully you do remain Patreons after that terrible joke. Josh, how can they stay Patreons and we get new ones as well?
Yes. If you're enjoying our podcast, we really appreciate your support. By supporting us, you're helping to support creating even better content. Keep this free, FREE, free.
Yeah,
for
like the monorail, in Disney.
Oh yeah, can I say one more thing that we forgot to say? You brought it up because I forgot about it.
Yeah, what's that?
You can ride the monorail around, and you can get off at the resorts. Yeah, and you think, oh, I can't go in there. You can go in there.
Yes,
and you can eat there in the restaurants, and you can experience like the themed restaurant. Anyway, this is cool.
Yeah. Can I just say it's called a monorail bar crawl and the Skyliner bar crawl? So go use them and let them take you to the places where you can get some sweet drinks. Just
there you go.
My parting note.
Beer Snob Rob.
You do have to pay. You do have to pay for your food and drinks. That's not free. That part's not free. But the entry's free, Josh. Entry's free.
But Beer Snob Rob knows a lot about drinking. This is very clear. Make sure, and you should check out the show notes and subscribe to his channel and subscribe to his wife's channel.
Yes, thank you.
Because if he doesn't post the stuff, she will get fed up with it and just post it on her own channel, probably. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, patrons, for supporting us. If you want to join our Patreon, join us at patreon.com/treasures of our town.
So otherwise, Josh, how else can people contact us?
Comment on any social platform like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or message us directly at treasuresofourtownpodcast@gmail.com.
And so that's it for our show for today/tonight. Please subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting app. And as always, Josh,
may your travels always lead you to the most unexpected places and hidden gems like high in the sky on a gondola in Disney or anywhere around the world. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Rob, so much for coming on.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, mate. We appreciate you, buddy.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you later.